This has been incredible so far. I think one area we haven't covered sufficiently is talking about the users of Axie. Who is playing Axie Infinity?
We have so many different player archetypes, right? We have, the collectors who are really into the scarcity and the aesthetics, right, and the art. Um, and I think they're super important to the ecosystem. We also have, right, like the people who are kind of really into the competitive scene of Axie, right? They want to be at the top of the PvP leaderboard. They want to win all the tournaments, right? They're also able to get some nice access winnings from doing this. Then you have the kind of play to earn grinders, right? They might be playing 4 to 6 hours a day, farming love potions. They might have, they might not have been able to even afford an Axie. They might have borrowed them from a friend, a family member, one of these other public programs. We have the liquidity providers, right? They're just interested in like trading the Axie market, doing these kind of short-term strategies. Yeah.
And wait a second, Jiho. You said somebody can actually like borrow an Axie and play with it, so they don't actually have to buy. You can like borrow.
Exactly. So as the expected earnings of the theoretical future earnings of a team of Axie rises, so too does the price of a team of Axies on the marketplace. This is obviously, it causes a dilemma where, like over time, historically the price of Axies has gone up, and it's like, okay, like, how do you make the game accessible? How do you get people into the ecosystem? So this system has kind of developed. It's called the scholarship system, where people who have, a lot of Axies but not enough time to use them, are able to lend their Axies out to these scholars who are people who, right, they have a lot of time. They want to play Axie, but they don't have the hundreds of dollars that it takes to get started with the game, right? And then so oftentimes, right, these scholars will apply to a program with a resume or CV or even like a video. They're getting really creative. Some programs are only taking streamers. It's like an amazing growth hack. So they're applying, then they're in many cases even signing like contracts to basically say, okay, I'm the scholar, I'll get this percentage of the tokens earned on this account while I play. The rest will be taken by the original, right, the owner of the account. So
This sounds like it sounds like, Jiho, a built-in franchise type system.
Exactly. I think that's been one of the keys to the growth. Is Axie is a system where anyone who, right, they're interested in blockchain, they're a bit entrepreneurial, they're great at community building, they can come in. A lot of them have come in and, right, they've kind of built these guilds, right, around themselves. And but yeah, there's kind of real earning ability with these guilds. So yeah, there's also even there's one of these scholarship organizations called Yield Guild, YGG. And then they're even like, I think they raised a Series A, right? So they're like going out there and raising capital, and there's so much interest on this idea of the metaverse immigrant worker, right? Who, right, because you're able to earn 50, 60, maybe $70 in these play to earn economies, at least in Axie Infinity. People are kind of migrating into Axie right now, and Yield Guild is helping.
Jeff, was this whole scholarship phenomenon and lending out your Axies, was that infrastructure that the Axie team built out, or was that community driven, community derived?
I like to joke that the community got the idea when they were playing Animal Crossing during the pandemic, because right, so you had Tom Nook, who was getting people to do all this work for him, and they're like, yeah, like I need to become Tom Nook with my Axies, right? Get someone to work for me. But yeah, it's primarily from within the community. We made our account system architecture flexible enough to enable this, and we weren't sure whether people would start doing. So yeah, it's kind of like a little bit of both. We're potentially, this might be a leak, we're looking at if we can make an official version of it, what that would look like. But it comes with a variety of issues. So we're still in research.
That is insanely cool. Two things come to mind. The protocol sync thesis comes to mind, which is the concept that like you could have built Axie Infinity, the game, and used Ethereum as you've described it and just built the game. But instead, you built something deeper. You built something that people could build on top of, which allows the community, it gives agency to the community. Say, hey, you have permission to start tinkering with this game that you play. And no, it's not just the game. The game is one feature of a more vibrant ecosystem, much more fitting to call this thing a nation. And so I love that. And I'm also reminded of our conversation with Josh Rosenthal, who talks about how there is going to be an absolute new paradigm of what it means to be a laborer, a worker, a part of a digital organization, part of a digital community, digital nation. And it's just completely changing the game with what it means to almost do anything, really. Be a gamer on the internet, be an entrepreneur on the internet, be just an economic actor on the internet. And so this is definitely one of those examples of there's this community out there that is really taking this opportunity by the horns, rather than doing whatever they were doing by playing like Team Fortress 2 or Overwatch or whatever in the Web 2 world. So I think that's really, really cool. I want to go into the demographics of the community a little bit more. It's largely Asia based. Is that correct? And then what parts of Asia does Axie Infinity particularly find resonance with?
Yeah, so our game Axie is huge in the Philippines right now. I think around 60% of our users are from the Philippines. We have, I think, some of the largest streamers in the Philippines, if not the largest, are also starting to stream Axie Infinity there. So it's kind of like a really special thing that's happened there in the Philippines due to a variety of factors. But yeah, so that's around 60%. We're also starting to gain traction in places like Indonesia, Vietnam. But also South America, right? So like Brazil is huge, Venezuela, Argentina is growing. So it's almost like COVID, right? So it's something that's like it started in one place and it was super small, but then right now it's spread. I saw photos of people it looked like a school in Africa learning how to play Axie together. That was like mind blowing. Like I need to hunt down like and see what's going on there. Like I bet in the 3 months we're going to see like so many people in Ghana, Nigeria, because they can speak English quite well, right? So they kind of can interface with the rest of the community. That's one thing that we've seen is like, being able to speak English. I think that if a country can speak English and has like low minimum wage, that's like a perfect storm for Axie. Obviously localization will help in the future. But yeah, we also have like lots of Ethereans, right, in the community who are, a lot of them are from, the US, Canada, North America, and Europe, right, maybe Northern Europe. So we have a decent mix.